Alright. Let's step on in over here.
Wow, very nice.
Thank you.
Lovely kitchen area.
Okay, so
You can do so much with this place. Looks epic.
isn't it? And we have like 2 bedrooms upstairs as well, and a really nice bathroom.
Wow.
Okay, so um, Tom says that something weird may have just happened.
Yeah. So I've asked Tom for an update, and he displayed me an image of a photo taken of three guns that were taken from one person. He says.
Um,
Uh, One of those guns happened to be mine, and the others belong to the late Michael Flanagan.
yeah. So it's actually the way it was portrayed to me was we had a situation early on in the day, and we arrested three suspects that were part of a bank robbery with a hostage, and they engaged us when they were fleeing the scene, and I believe all three of them, as it was articulated to me, had firearms, and the individual that was responsible for searching all three individuals was Veeps Cavalli.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a few weird things that could have happened.
Right. So what I can tell you is that I believe it was very soon after the whole event, the
It
the
was the
whole
same day.
troubles. I don't know if it was the
Like
same day.
what feels like the same day.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I believe it was what felt like the very next day.
Okay.
I was, I was grieving over Michael, and Joe had informed me that he'd noticed that we still had our emergency firearms licenses, so he revoked them. And he and I headed down to the station to hand in our firearms because Joe had one as well.
I see.
We waited in the office at the front where me and Tom were standing, and Veeps approached us. So that's where we handed the firearms and the ammo to Veeps Cavalli, and I'd never seen them after. I can tell you with 100% certainty that that is the only gun I've ever owned at all, and it was handed to Veeps Cavalli.
Okay. Hmm. There. So I'm gonna have to review my body camera of that day because I know. I, I'm trying to remember like the timeline as far as the bank robbery, um, Joe coming to speak to us about, or maybe it was you, speaking about the funeral, and then wait a second, let me think. Yeah, you need a cough drop. Yeah.
I left the day of the funeral. I went off on vacation, did my own thing. I actually just came back. What feels like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, because the bank situation happened early morning that day, and the funeral was later on in the evening. So yeah, I'm gonna have to review body cam on that because if the situation is that for some reason these criminals had these guns, me and Veeps are gonna have a very interesting conversation, and IA is gonna be involved in it.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Either Veeps is mixing up his guns, or is accidentally losing sight of some of them.
Exactly, which is why I'm concerned. Because, like I said, I remember the call out being, we have three guns, we're good. Okay.
Hmm.
So, besides that, were you present the day of, the whole situation with the savage sovereign nation?
Pardon, sorry?
Were you also present the day of the situation that happened in Polito with the savage
I was.
sovereign nation? Okay. Um, is there anything like can you walk me through from the moment you guys approached um the toll booth area, I guess? Can you walk me through what happened after that?
Um, negotiations collapsed very quickly. Things became heated. I backed off from the situation um, towards the logs. I have seen some things around. You might be able to see me in some of the footage from the weasel and photographs
Mm-hmm.
about. But I went over to the logs at the lumberyard and took cover because I saw the cops were approaching with a truck. Looks like it was kitted out to break down barricades. So I took back. I knew things were going south, so I just stood back, and then Michael, for some reason, whatever was going through his head, decided to reapproach the situation, and that's when things kicked off.
I see.
I spent the whole conflict um, in the same area, out of sight of any gunfire. A large portion of it was spent with Tom here.
Yeah. Hmm. Now, I know these individuals that were involved that they obviously they're not good people. Um by chance anything like any features, anything voice possibly that you might have recognized from the individuals that were there during the negotiations?
Unfortunately not, otherwise I'd have them all documented. This is my first encounter with these individuals. Some of them, I can tell you, their voices, they were present at the protest.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, perhaps not. Weasel was present at the protest, so have you tried talking to the person who punched Michael, by chance?
So I want to tread with caution when it comes with Weasel because this investigation, I'm trying to keep it as confidential as possible and very, very low key for those only that need to know. Even my interviews, I'm going to specific individuals, specific times, um, just to ensure that the word doesn't get out. And my fear is that Weasel will take me questioning, the situation and start running like information on it or,
Hmm.
like some kind of breaking news and that's just gonna just make my life impossible.
Understandable. Perhaps it would be useful if I were to request the footage of both incidents as part of a quote-unquote presentation upon government operations
Of
and how
what
to
not
handle a
to do.
situation.
Yes.
Exactly.
That actually would be amazing. That would be a good approach.
Scarlet, if you're ever in negotiations and there's a bunch of people that are probably terrorists, don't call them terrorists.
Yeah.
That's what the title should be. Don't call them terrorists.
Terrorists, when not to call them.
I mean,
Terrorists is not that word.
I mean, I don't. I know this is like a sensitive topic because obviously you know what transpired, but personally, I do have some experience with negotiations, and meeting hostility with hostility does not ever end well. So
I got a feeling that people on both sides wanted it to happen.
Nah, you know what's crazy about that, dude? I was about to bust Jerry aside, get to chop it up, explain to him that I think the price of the business licenses doesn't make sense either way myself, and we were about to walk on our way with a fucking happy fat idea or a happy fat way, but you know.
yeah.
Actually, actually, they did negotiate trying to lower the licenses. I think.
Matthew, do you have fucking POV of this? Because I can name like almost the entirety of their roster off of voice.
I do not. Who was the officer leading the whole event?
I believe it was our chief, Jason Jackson. But
Have you asked him about it?
I have not been able to meet with him yet, just just based off of scheduling. But I don't think he has it.
Right. Okay. We were the only three that approached the front, so it's unlikely then.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Your best bet is the weasel.
My balls.
What?
This like seriously, there's got to be someone with POV that somewhere near us that could hear it. There's no way we're allowed to approach a bunch of people with assault rifles by ourselves and nobody near us.
Just a bit suspicious.
Yeah.
We were not kitted with any kind of recording devices prior to the event. The only ones that would have been were the officers on scene.
Yeah, they should have.
Perhaps, maybe, did we recover the bodies?
Yeah, we did recover some bodies, and I also have to analyze those.
Did you have the footage from the body cam on the bodies?
Yes.
Do these footages have audio to them?
At least one of them does.
Perhaps it might have heard some of the people yelling.
Yeah, that's gonna be our best bet.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of the Weasel are about, but when I get a chance, I'll ask them for all of their resources on the topic to display to other government officials about future situations.
Yep, just like for training exercises in the future. Perfect. Okay.
Well, would it be in Dugan too if you make a joke out of it, like how not to fuck up negotiations? He'll totally run with it and think like,
Oh, I know how to deal with Dugan.
If you also call him fucking, what do I call him, Doofenshmirtz?
Doofenshmirtz. Okay, very good. Well, Mr. Burke, I really appreciate your time and thank you for all the information and continuing to help us solve this situation.
Yeah, I can't wait to have all these people in the chairs.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking lethal injection. I'm taking suggestions.
Ooh. What about firing squad?
I thought about it.
The firing squads are always sick.
That's right.
They are.
Have you ever gone to firing squad someone yet, Matthew?
No, but they call it unconstitutional and barbaric, but
No, they don't. It's a capital offense, sir.
Well, if it's barbaric, I mean, they're gonna be treated the way they treated others.
yeah. It's given the delicate nature of the situation, it's you don't exactly want other people rising up over them being shot.
That's also true. Touche on that one.
Maybe we kick him in one of the acid buckets at Humane Labs?
Oh god. They're gonna start taking suggestions. Just cut him up into chum and then feed him to the fishes in the pier.
Yo, we could take him far enough out in the ocean that the Megalodon gets him.
See, there. I was gonna take the one we identify as the leader and dump him in the ocean and call it the Bin Laden treatment.
They're led by Joe and Tyler Savage.
Pardon?
Joe and Tyler Savage are their leaders.
But do
All
we
of them.
know that they were there that night in order?
There was one person that we're referring
we
to
know
as the
Tyler's
boss.
there, we know Frank's there, we know Jerry was for sure there. We heard Rory Pence speak. We also heard Bert and Noah Volkovich both speak. I'm not sure if they changed their last names. They do it like women change their fingernail colors every other week. Pretty sure Thomas Good called me a traitor.
Someone did call you a traitor, I remember
Someone
that.
definitely called me a traitor. I can't remember if it was Thomas Good or Jerry.
Really?
Uh,
Okay.
then he apologized to me after the fact. So I'm sorry I jumped to conclusions.
Jeez.
How many of them are there, do you know?
How many are there here? I don't know. How many could there be overall? Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Could be somewhere
Hundreds.
in the 40s plus.
Okay. Have you an idea of how these operate?
What, the gangs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have some intel on them already. I have gathered some intel over the last couple of days as well that I was doing just, separately for the department. Can't get too much into it, but I mean, we already have established names within there.
Right, okay. And they have a high command, or was it just a lot of them? Or...
Yes, they have a hierarchy, just like any like paramilitary organization, they have a hierarchy.
And if you took out all of the leading members, do they have something to fall back on?
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately.
I'm not saying they're unstoppable, right? But like, we brought tanks and we still lost.
I was informed that the tanks were in unworking conditions.
Yeah.
Well, even with that, whoever was driving the tank was no longer in the tank. For thus, we have lost.
The tank had dummy guns.
Yeah, they were
Dummy
beanbagging around.
guns.
What about dummy armor?
Dummy everything. He had a dummy pilot, dummy
Okay.
tank, dummy.
It was AI, I promise you, it was AI.
It was just a dummy.
Dude, I think Charles is AI, to be completely honest.
No, he's Hassan. He's literally Hassan.
But yeah, you can't stop the Parasavage train. That thing goes choo-choo until fucking forever on.
It's alright. We'll get rid of them bit by bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And word on the street is too. We're gonna have a new group here. They're called the Van Gogh Crows.
I don't care what these people do to each other, but the moment they start interfering in our affairs, doesn't
Well, like
sit well with me.
my logic is crows are gonna fight the savages in the Parabellum, and we'll never hear of any of them ever again.
Good. Good. I still want some of them executed though.
Yeah, I've been
They
seeing
need
some
to
weird
learn their lesson.
names pop up.
Yeah.
There's someone else that was there that like we know very well. The let's go get some money, man. Just the one with the dreads that poked through his mask.
Dress up, poke through his mask. Wait, was Randall there? Oh, you need a cough drop.
Yeah, Randall was there.
Oh, I'm gonna use him. You watch.
And this girl named Willow as well too was there. I don't know if you remember Willow from the pier.
No.
The one that Randall was like barking at and stuff.
No, I don't remember that.
And they were talking about how, oh,
Oops.
Sorry about that. I just had a out of body moment.
Hmm.
Where was I?
We were talking about using Randall.
Randall.
Yes, Randall, I know, is one of the savages, and he often likes to come up to me and flirt with me, so we're gonna use
Oh,
that to my advantage.
lovely.
You know, sometimes it's really annoying being a woman because you get harassed a lot, but like in these situations, you know, I take advantage.
I bet it can be very useful.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised how much shit I've gotten because of that. But with due time, that'll come.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay, you think we're done here? I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Solid.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll let him struggle. Oh wait, he's back. What the fuck?
What's up?
Interesting.